Yo, what's good? If you're ready to level up your life, smash that subscribe button and join a crew that's all about action, not just talk. This is where you stop wishing and start grinding. Let me hit you with something real. Success isn't some secret code or stroke of luck. It's a choice. A choice to do what most folks, 99% of them, will never have the guts to do. That's the 1% rule, and if you live by it, your life will transform in ways you can't even imagine. The 1% rule is dead simple. If you want a life that most people only fantasize about, you've got to do the stuff they're too scared, too lazy, or too comfortable to tackle. That's the whole game. It's not about having a fancy degree, coming from money, or being born with some rare gift. It's about choosing every single day to step into the tough, the gritty, the stuff that makes you sweat. That's where the real growth happens. Here's the deal. Most people want the prize without the pain. They dream of success but dodge the sacrifice. They want the glory but won't pay the price. The 99% will give you every excuse in the book. It's too early. It's too late. It's too hard. It's too risky. They'll spend their whole lives justifying why they can't. But the 1%, they take the leap. They burn the midnight oil. They're up before the sun. They show up rain or shine, tired or not, scared or not. They do it anyway. Let's be real. Comfort is a dream killer. Every big win, every game-changing moment, every life-altering breakthrough, it's waiting just outside your comfort zone. The 99% guard their comfort like it's gold, dodging anything that feels like pain, failure, or embarrassment. But the 1%, they charge right into it. They know pain is the cost of progress. They know struggle builds strength. They know failure isn't the end, it's the starting line. Picture this. While most people are hitting snooze, the 1% are already in motion. While the crowd's glued to their screens, the 1% are building their future. While everyone's saying, "I'll start tomorrow," the 1% are making moves today. That's why they come out on top. Not because they're smarter or luckier, but because they put in the work when nobody else will. You don't need to be flawless. You don't need to make giant leaps every day. You just need to show up consistently. Get 1% better every day. That's it. If you stack a 1% improvement every single day, by the end of the year, you'll be 37 times better than when you started. Most folks miss this because they're chasing instant gratification. They want to go from zero to hero in a weekend, but the 1% get it. Small, steady steps lead to massive results. So ask yourself, what are you willing to do that most people won't? Will you wake up before dawn, study while others are out partying, train when no one's watching, face failure after failure without throwing in the towel? That's what it takes. That's the 1% rule. Here's the truth bomb. Discipline trumps motivation every single time. Motivation's like a match. It sparks, then fades. Discipline, that's the fire that keeps burning when the spark's long gone. The 99% wait for the right mood or the perfect moment. The 1%, they move whether they feel like it or not. They don't wait for inspiration, they create momentum. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This road is tough. You'll be uncomfortable. You'll be exhausted. You'll face doubts, setbacks, and straight up failures. But if you stick with it, you'll win. Why? Because most people quit way before the finish line. That's why the 1% rule works. The majority won't last. Here's a fact. The difference between winning and losing often comes down to refusing to give up. The 99% bail when it gets tough. The 1% keep pushing, even when it feels impossible. They take one more step, make one more call, grind out one more rep. And that extra effort, that's where the magic happens. Think of your dream like climbing a mountain. Most people start the climb, but when the path gets steep and the air gets thin, they turn back. They convince themselves they've gone far enough. But the 1%, they keep climbing. They know the view from the top is worth every blister, every ache, every drop of sweat. The 1% rule isn't just about money or business. It's about every corner of your life. It's being the parent who's always there, the friend who listens, the partner who shows up. It's hitting the gym when the couch is calling. It's feeding your mind with knowledge instead of zoning out to mindless TV. It's making choices today that your future self will high-five you for. Stop chasing other people's approval. The 99% are obsessed with what others think, letting fear of judgment stop them dead in their tracks. But the 1%? They know other people's opinions don't pay their bills, build their dreams, or define their worth. They move forward anyway. And here's an example. Imagine two runners starting at the same spot. One takes one step forward a day, the other takes two. At first, you barely notice the gap, but after a year, the second runner's miles ahead, not because they sprinted once, but because they did just a little more every single day. This is where most people drop the ball. They don't see quick results, so they quit. They dig for gold, don't find it in a week, and walk away. They don't realize the gold was just a few inches deeper. The 1% keep digging. They know the reward's there, even if it's out of sight. To live the 1% rule, you've got to think different. See opportunity where others see roadblocks. Find value in the grind. Learn from the losses. Grow through the pain. The 99% run from pain like it's the enemy. The 1% use it as fuel. Pain shows you your weak spots so you can build them up. It reveals who you really are. It strips away the excuses and forces you to face the truth. Stop dodging the hard stuff. Stop wishing for an easier life and start getting tougher. Stop waiting for a hero to save you and start saving yourself. Because here's the deal. Nobody's coming. Not your boss, not your friends, not your family. It's on you. Always you. The 1% rule means owning your outcomes. No blaming, no excuses. If you fail, it's yours to fix. If you win, it's because you earned it. That's the mindset that separates the average from the elite. This path isn't glamorous. It's not about flexing on social media or chasing quick wins. It's about the boring, gritty, repetitive work nobody claps for. It's showing up when no one's watching. It's staying committed long after the hype fades and the motivation tanks. The 99% crave applause. They need likes, validation, a pat on the back to keep going. The 1%? They're their own cheerleader. They find joy in the process, not just the win. They know success isn't one big moment. It's a million small victories stacked up until the world calls it overnight. You've got to love the process. That's the real secret. You can't just love the idea of being jacked. You've got to love the sweat. You can't just dream of wealth. You've got to love the hustle of building something from nothing. You can't just want respect. You've got to love the discipline that earns it. The 1% wake up earlier than they want. They read when they'd rather scroll. They speak up when they're scared. They put their rep on the line. They invest in themselves with no guarantee of payoff. They do what's tough because they know that's where the growth lives. The 99% take the easy way out. They skip the workout because it's cold. They ditch their business because it's not blowing up fast enough. They settle in relationships because they're scared to be alone. They trade tomorrow's potential for today's comfort. But here's the brutal truth. Regret hurts way worse than discipline. Discipline stings for a second. Regret haunts you forever. Nobody on their deathbed says, "Man, I wish I'd binged more TV," or "I'm so glad I never took that risk." No, they say, "I wish I'd gone for it. I wish I'd given it everything." The 1% avoid that pain, the pain of what if. They'd rather face the pain of effort, risk, or failure than the pain of never knowing. Living the 1% rule means holding yourself to a higher standard, even when nobody's watching. It means being honest with yourself, even when it stings. It means refusing to settle for good enough when you know you're built for more. This isn't about outshining others. It's about outworking your old self. Every day ask, did I give more today than yesterday? If the answer's yes, you're on the right track. If it's no, you know what to fix. When you live this way, you'll stand out. Not because you're trying to, but because the world's full of people doing the bare minimum. You'll walk into a room and people will feel it. The focus in your eyes, the discipline in your vibe, the confidence in your stride. That's what happens when you do what 99% won't. If you want in on the 1%, decide today. Not tomorrow, not next month, today. Waiting trains you to procrastinate. Every day you delay, you're telling your dreams they're not worth it. And every day they wait, they fade. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be relentless. The 99% wait for the stars to align. More time, more money, more confidence. That day never comes. And they know it. The 1%? They start messy, broke, scared. They start when it's inconvenient because they know action creates clarity, not the other way around. You're not going to wake up one day feeling fearless or laser focused. Readiness isn't a gift. It's built. Courage is built. Confidence is built. And the 1% rule is built by choosing action over excuses every single time.